Welcome into the Rob Breaux Show. I am Rob Breaux. I am the host. Carson is the co-host today. You can also jump into the starting line counseling chat line. Oh, I had the hat. We'll debut the hat on Monday. Thought I had it right here. Anyways, starting line, chat line. Comment what you want to comment today. Talk about the Rangers suck again and more. They are 4-6 in their last 10, including 2 series losses, one most recently to the barely 500 Red Sox, which was not ideal.
No, not an ideal start to that road trip. That's for sure. Now you got to be able to go to Washington, who is a bad baseball team, and do something.
Something is right. So you're off today.
Yeah. Which is a good thing. They need a day off. And then the good news is
you're not off today. Sorry, it's Friday.
No, you go to Washington today. I thought, that's why they had to play. Yeah, they were worried about weather last night. But anyway, the starting rotation's getting a little jumbled up this weekend because Martin Perez is getting pushed back now. He's going to be rested until after the All-Star break. So you're going to see, and I just had Bradford start tonight, I believe is what Bochy said yesterday, and then kind of try and piece things together from there. They brought up Jose Leclerc again. Great. That means the bullpen got even worse.
Rested.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't hurt his ankle again in BP.
Leclerc was not bad. He just certainly wasn't good. I don't know what it was because he has some real nasty stuff. He just walks too many guys, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. And he throws too hard to walk too many guys.
Yeah.
I keep waiting for the day where they're going to say that they've traded Jose Leclerc and Leiter and whoever else for Manuel Clase to come back and actually have another big arm in the back end of that bullpen now.
If you had Aroldis Chapman and Aroldis Chapman Jr.
Your right-handed version of Aroldis Chapman Jr., yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. 2 dudes who throw in the upper hundreds, and then you got Will Smith, who's been pretty solid in the back end. And that's why I don't think that you've seen Chapman go back there to the closer role quite yet because Will Smith has been so good lately. But
well, you've only had 2 opportunities.
Yeah, you haven't had a lot of opportunities.
Will Smith blew one.
Yeah.
So,
but we talked about this in, what was it, May, Rob, and people asked, will the Rangers be if the Rangers could be in first place at the end of May, would you be happy? And I was like, if they can hang on to it by the end of May. And now we're in July, almost to the All-Star break. They're still 2 games up. I mean, the Astros have played really good baseball lately. They're 7-3 in their last 10 as compared to the Rangers. And then getting the series win over the Rangers was big. But yeah, it's the Astros are playing really good baseball right now. They're finally, of course, I say they're finally healthy. Altuve's going on the IL, it looks like, and Jordan Alvarez has been on the IL. He'll be on the IL for another month, I think. So they're not even completely healthy yet.
He's swinging in the batting cages.
Is he really? Wow. Yeah. They said it was going to be 2 months, so he's going to come back a little bit quicker then.
Yeah. He's on the horizon. This from Alan on the starting line chat line. Lock of the weekend, the Rangers will hold a 2-game lead in the West by Monday. Ooh. So you have a 2-game lead right now. Having a 2-game lead in the West on Monday would mean you win the series against the Nationals, or the Astros do as poorly as you do against whoever they're playing.
They're in Seattle, or no? Did they just finish in Seattle? They played in Seattle last night.
Yeah, they just let's see, 3 more against the Mariners.
Yeah, there you go. So they have a 4-gamer against Seattle in Seattle, which big win for the Mariners last night. If you're going to lose, if you're the Rangers, then you hope that the Astros lose in the same nights you do. So then they can't gain any ground. But
Right.
I mean, you look in this division. The Angels are 6.5 still. The Mariners, you still have them and the Mariners at arm's length. We won't even talk about the A's because they're trash. But yeah, it's time before the All-Star break, especially in this series with Washington, because they're not very good. Still a Major League Baseball team though, on the road, and you still got to go out and perform. But yeah, it's going to be, if they're up by 2 games, Allen, by the All-Star break, I'll be okay with that. I mean, you've got guys in the lineup right now that are just on the struggle bus. I mean, Marcus Simeon's 0 for his last. Did he get a hit last night? I can't remember. Watched the whole game. Can't remember if Marcus Simeon got a hit.
I watched the first 5 innings. I don't remember either.
He was 0 for his last 16 or 17 at one point in the game last night. So he's been struggling at the top of the lineup. Corey Seager has not been struggling. Corey Seager's just Corey Seager. Dude can just absolutely swing it. Josh had a pretty good. He had 2 doubles last night, but he also struck out twice. The strikeout.
He struck out a lot.
Yeah. In the last 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, he is struck out a lot. I mean, he had a time there where I think he was 1 for 14, and he had 11 strikeouts in that 1 for 14, I believe. So
he had the golden sombrero game as well.
Yeah, and he had it twice in that week. Struck out 4 times twice in that week. But it happens. He's a rookie. Major league pitchers are going to finally figure it out at some point of how to throw him. And I've said this all the time, and it sounds so cliche and so old school, but whenever he tries to drive the ball the other way instead of pulling for power, he's a lot better hitter than what he is whenever he tries to pull off of things and try and yank balls down the line.
Yeah.
But I think that's every hitter, and Adolis Garcia's had a pretty solid year because of his approach at the plate going the other way. He takes balls the other way. That ball he hit out to dead center against the Angels or the Astros a few days ago, just ball was like a foot off the plate, outside and up. Dude hits it dead center, 482 feet. Just like, you shouldn't be able to do that, and that's why he's in the home run derby. But happy that he got invited to the All-Star game. I mean, you got 6 All-Stars off this team. If you'd have told me the Rangers have 6 All-Stars going into the year, I probably would have taken the under.
Well, and to just be tied or within 2 games or 2 games up of the Astros going to the All-Star weekend, you feel good about where you are. Season long, you feel good about where you are. Is it frustrating that you've been bad for the last 2 weeks? Yes. Is it frustrating you lost a home series 3-1 to the Astros? Yes, especially because I was there for most of those games. It's frustrating to watch them lose live from the top row of the stadium, but
still a fun weekend.
Absolutely. It's a fun weekend. Always fun to go to the ballpark.
Yeah, you got to watch 2 Red Raiders play too. That's awesome.
But season-long scope, you feel good. You feel good about where you are at the All-Star break.
Yeah, you're not upset about it. That's for sure. I mean, and I think Bruce Bochy said this the other day. He's like, this team is really not. He didn't go as far as to say overachieving, but we're right. He said we're right at the point where we might be a little bit better than we thought we might be this year. Just because of the young guys that you have. I mean, you didn't expect Ezekiel Duran to play as well as he has this year at times. You didn't expect Josh Young to be. I mean, some of us could have. Now it seems like you could say that. Like, we expected Josh Young to be a rookie of the year. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's easy to say now. But at the time before the season, you're like, I just hope he can hit above 200 and stay in the lineup. Right. Like, that's where we were at before the year started. And now he's in the All-Star game. He's a starter in the All-Star game. He's, the top 2 or 3 in the Rookie of the Year. Yoshida's pretty daggum good for the Red Sox. He's also 29 years old and has played professional baseball in Japan for I don't know how many years now. But, I think Josh Young is having a better year than anybody could have predicted, especially with the power numbers.
Especially with the power numbers.
Yeah. And
17?
Yeah, 17. And he's second in the American League in rookies and home runs, or he's leading the American League rookies in home runs. So that's a big deal right there. And you're getting good play from Travis Jankowski, who you didn't think would factor in that much at all. Robbie Grossman's been pretty good when he's in the lineup. Mitch Garver's come back and been pretty solid at times. So the thing they have to shore up, and I think they will, is go get one more starter and one more reliever. I don't think you need anybody in the lineup. I don't think there's any position players that you're going to go out and look for in this trade deadline coming up later this month. But I do think that you go get a couple more arms. One's a starter and maybe one or two more relievers.
I think you need another bat.
Who do you go get? Where in what position? Outfielder?
DH. You really just need a DH.
Yeah. What do you do? You can trade Garver. Like you can get rid of Garver and be okay with it. Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to keep Ezekiel Duran.
Yeah, me too.
But if he was packaged with some of these arms to get, I can't remember his name now, the young starter from the Pirates, Andrew McCutchen, and one of their 3 bullpen guys, like, that seems like a pretty good trade-off. I don't want to lose Duran, but that's one of the trades I've seen. Nelson Cruz just got DFA'd from the Padres.
Yeah, you can pick up Nelly, and you don't have to trade for him.
Yeah, you just have to go pick him up.
And then if you sit him in the lineup for a couple days and he, a couple weeks and he doesn't work out, then you DFA him again and he goes on his way. I mean, there's no harm in that. That's for sure.
I don't know. I don't think this team is good enough for a stretch run. But do you want to be good enough for a stretch run this year, or do you want to be good enough next year?
Yeah. Do you want to sell all of your pieces? Like, do you want to put all your marbles into the pot right here and go for broke this year? I don't know. I couldn't think of the saying.
Eggs in the basket.
Yeah, eggs in the basket. There you go. Biscuits in the basket.
There you go. We got a comment on the starting line chat line. Not on topic, but I noticed on Twitter, can we uninvite UCF? These commits are getting ridiculous, and I can't deal with another fan base like Texas, who is able to get a ton of talent. Let's go to those recruiting rankings. Texas Tech, number 1 in the Big 12 right now. They've got 18 commitments. The average rating is 87.13. UCF has 11 commits. They are number 2 in the rankings with an average rating of 87.61. Texas Tech and UCF are the only 2 schools with an average ranking of at least 87 in their recruiting rankings. 5 4-stars for Texas Tech, according to On3. 4 for UCF. 5 for TCU as well, but TCU only has 10 commits.
Mm-hmm.
Do you worry about UCF in, let's say, a 5-year window that they're going to be able to out-recruit everyone in the Big 12?
No. Now, listen, UCF is in a recruiting hotbed of Florida. I mean, Florida is just exactly like Texas in that regard in high school football recruiting. I mean, people around the country, the top 3 places you go to recruit, and I'm talking about go to a school like Notre Dame, right? The private institution that is Notre Dame. Where do they go get most of their talent? Florida, Texas, California. Like, that's where a lot of their roster comes from, is those 3 states. And most every single football team in the country up there, where there's not a ton of, there's good recruits up in the Northeast and in the Midwest and all those places. But the place where you can go find more bang for your buck and just go to a high school game on a Friday night and find 6 dudes who might be able to play for you is Florida, Texas, or California. Those are the top 3. And Sometimes Florida has more 5-star and 4-stars than Texas does, and then vice versa the other year. So Florida's recruiting hotbed. Now you do have, I think in Texas, you just have more schools that are top tier, in that top, the Power 5 schools with Tech and now TCU, Houston, Texas A&M, Texas, and then I already said Baylor also thrown in. That's 7 schools to compete with. In Florida, UCF has Florida, Florida State, and Miami. Like those are the 3 schools above them in my mind for recruiting purposes. But UCF is the largest school in the country too. I mean, they got plenty of money to throw around as well because they got money, state funded university. So
they've gotten a bunch of kids from Georgia in this class.
Another pretty good recruiting hotbed there in the state of Georgia. For how small it is, there is a lot of talent in the state of Georgia.
The same commenter says, let's see. The buzz is they finished with 11 4-stars.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the crystal ball prediction, sometimes that is also skewed a little bit as well. Because if you look at the 2024 rankings right now in 247, UCF is all the way down at 6 because they have 5 4-stars, like you said, Rob, but they only have, I think, a total of 11 commits right now, and the rest of them are 2 stars and 3 stars of those 5 4-stars. So, but if they get all those guys, then cool, man. You know, Texas has been at the top of the recruiting list for how long now, and what have they done besides win the Sugar Bowl a few years back? So I'm really not concerned that much, but UCF should recruit well. They're in a perfect spot in the state of Florida. I mean, you're smack dab right in the middle of one of the best states in the country to recruit high school football players. It's not hard.
Everyone was talking about Houston coming in and doing what they're going to do and getting better, and they're going to be able to recruit Houston, and this is the Big 12 now, and they're going to be a Big 12 school. Nobody's saying that right now because they haven't had much momentum.
Right. Dana's on the hot seat right now.
But that was the conversation for years when we were talking about bringing Houston into the Big 12, which is why they didn't get in the first time because Texas was scared of them. But UCF could do all of those things. UCF absolutely could finally use their recruiting hotbed, finally take a jump. All these guys wanting to play in the Big 12. Hey, maybe there are a bunch of kids in Florida and Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi and all the states around that don't want to play in the SEC, that might want to go play in the Big 12 and might want to dominate the Big 12. Hey, let's take SEC talent to the Big 12, see what happens.
Yeah.
Cool. Bring it on, UCF, because I think Texas Tech is going to be able to do the same thing. They're finally taking advantage. Here, he just did something so different that you could kind of put anyone out there. The system, right? The system play.
Yeah, and that in those days, that system was, 2 or 3 teams were running it, and Texas Tech was the only team running that system. Now everybody kind of runs a myriad of that system, like Mike Leach, and that's why when people talk about the Mike Leach thing, and I won't stay on this for long, but he changed college football. Like that's the difference in what Leach did. It wasn't all the success he had at Tech is the reason that he's going to be in the College Football Hall of Fame and in the Tech Hall of Fame and all of these things. He didn't win like a buku amount of games. He wasn't, he'd never won a national title, never got close. But he changed college football, and you see it every single Saturday and Tuesdays and Wednesdays on Maction too, because they all run the same offenses. But that's where football has changed, is because Mike Leach did all those things, and he brought in guys that fit that scheme. Like, there's a lot of guys. Eric Morris wouldn't have played at a lot of other schools back in those days. He just wouldn't have. Right. Austin Zuzalik probably wouldn't have either. Back anywhere else other than Texas Tech. Like, that's just the facts. And I don't know that you can call him. Yeah, what?
But it worked.
It worked, yeah, because he brought in guys that fit his scheme. And that's where I go to recruiting, spin it all back to this recruiting talk. Gus Malzahn has done that pretty much everywhere he went. I mean, Arkansas State, the first time he was there, he wasn't getting 4 stars and 5 stars. He was getting 2 stars and 3 stars. But he was successful at Arkansas State because he brought in guys that fit what he was trying to do. And now that he's in Florida, and we saw him do it at Auburn, but then Auburn, it kind of went to the waste. You have one bad year in the SEC, and people want your head. And that's just the way it works in the SEC. Plus, there was a lot of Auburn fans that didn't want Gus to have the job in the first place. But he's had success everywhere he's pretty much been. He went back to Arkansas State and had success and left in a couple of years. So I think Gus Malzahn is a great recruiter. You're talking about a guy who brought Cam Newton to Auburn, and because he knew the kind of player he was, and Cam Newton was one of the best college football players we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And led Auburn to a national title because Gus Malzahn wanted a guy that fit his system, and a running quarterback fits his system.
Which we'll have to see what John Reese Public could do in the Big 12.
Yeah, and he's another one of those guys. I was just about to say that, Rob. He kind of fit.
But he is a running quarterback.
Yeah.
The running back that can kind of throw. Tucker wants to know if we've played Immaculate Grid yet.
Nope.
Do you know what it is?
Nope.
It's a grid 3x3 with like a team here and a team on the side, and you got to name a player that matches both descriptions.
I like that. I feel like I could be pretty good at that game.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's play it right now, Tucker.
Yeah. Don't falk up. I think there's a lot of people in that boat. He said, I can't wait for season to get here. I think we surprise a lot of people this year. I haven't been this excited for a Tech season in a while. Yeah, I don't think this excitement has been here since Cliff's first year on campus, right? That excitement that whenever Kirby hired Cliff and brought him back, you had a lot of nervous excitement is what I would call it. You had a lot of everybody was optimistic about what could happen. And then you get off to it was a 7-0 start, 6-0 start.
Yeah.
And then everything kind of crumbled, and Baker Mayfield kind of surprised everybody. And he was really good at SMU. That first game, SMU was trash that year, but it didn't matter because he looked really good. The new uniforms were cool. All those things kind of just helped that along. And then ever since then, there hasn't been a whole lot of excitement around the football program. And right now it feels like that excitement is at an all-time, like right there at the preseason excitement is pretty close to being as high as it's ever been. Right. Because of what Joey McGuire's done, what the new changes to the stadium are, all the money that's been pouring in, the new facilities, the recruiting. You're finally recognized in the top 25 of recruiting everywhere. I think you're sitting at number 24 as we roll into today, and the nation in the class of 2024. So
depending where you look,
yeah.
One of the Big 12.
Yeah, you're number 1 in the Big 12. That's the best part. And
around a bunch of places.
Yeah. So
hey, who's the Rockies guy that just went to the Yankees a couple years ago?
DJ LeMahieu.
I'm playing it right now.
LSU guy too.
Yeah.
LSU's about to have a good day in a couple days, with the top 2 guys going in the MLB draft are going to be LSU Tigers probably, with Skeens and Dylan Cruz. The Pirates are either going to take Skeens or Cruz, and who picks second? The Nats. The Nats are either going to take Skeens or Cruz, or it's going to be Wyatt Langford those are the top 3 guys in the draft. Those 3 guys will go off the board before anybody.
What are you thinking about the high school kid the Rangers looking at?
I like him. I think he has great potential. Plus, you need some good outfielders, some good, young outfield talent, and getting a high school kid, I think, is a perfect way to go, because you don't need him right now, but 2, 3, 4 years down the road when he's 21, 22 years old, I think that's this kid he'll be pretty daggum good. And there's 2 guys you're looking at, I think Jenkins and what is it, Parker or something? I can't remember what the kid's name is now off the top of my head.
Who? On what?
The kid from Indiana, Max Clark. That's the kid that I think you go after. It's either going to be him or Walker Jenkins, who's another high school kid out of North Carolina. They're both team. Yeah, they're both team. Max Clark and Jenkins are both Team USA U18 players.
Walker's
very, very good.
about 32.
Yeah.
Grown man.
Yeah, he's there's a few guys in this draft that are high school age kids. Like one of the
You got
4.
I got 5 on there already. So you got Rockies, Detroit, and then somebody who's played for both Atlanta and Detroit, Atlanta and St. Louis, and Atlanta and the Yankees.
Okay, so I see how you do that. Is that like an app?
Yeah, it's a website. Immaculate.
I'll have to download that or go look that up. But yeah, I think and then we went straight from football recruiting to MLB draft, but
yeah,
because I was talking about LSU.
That's what I
But yeah, I think that's our scatter brains right there. But yeah, I as far as just to end the recruiting thing, UCF should recruit well. I mean,
yeah,
they're right there in Georgia, like we talked about. If most of their kids are coming from Georgia, Gus Malzahn's been recruiting that state for a long time. A long time. I mean, the Southeast, this is why the SEC is viewed as the best conference in college football, and rightfully so, because they win all the national championships. But the talent in the country is all in the Southeast. And the most of it, anyways. I mean, you're going to find some talent in Arizona and California and those places, but most of the talent that you're going to find in college football, especially in the SEC and the Big 12, is from the Southeast, your Gulf Shore states. And that's where coaches know. And Gus Malzahn's been doing this for a very, very long time. He has, we talk about Joey McGuire all the time, having great relationships with Texas high school football coaches. Gus Malzahn's another guy who started off, I believe, in high school football early in his days in Arkansas, went to Arkansas State and became a head coach at Arkansas State. Now he's worked it up to being one of the top tier head coaches in college football. He's a known name is what you'll say. Walking into a house, walking into a place, everybody knows who Gus Malzahn is.
Right.
You know what I mean? He walks into a football stadium on a Friday night to go watch a kid play. Everybody knows he's there. Whereas some coaches can walk in and people, some kids might know who he is, but others may not. So I think the name in Gus Malzahn just in general helps in recruiting for UCF because he's won a national title. He can say, hey, look, here's my ring. You want to win one of these? We're going to a Power 5 conference. Come be a part of this next UCF, journey. They've quote unquote won a national title before. Haven't, but they say they have. Let's go win a real one. Yeah. Now we have a chance to win a real one without anybody complaining and moaning about, we're not in a Power 5 conference. We don't know what it's like to win. And play a grueling schedule in the Big 12 or the SEC.
Right.
Like that now, that's a pitch. And that's what I think Joey is pitching that around too, is come be a part of Texas Tech and what we're building here and win a Big 12 championship for the first time. Do those things, get to a New Year's Six bowl for the first time. Let's do something that nobody has ever done here. And I think Chris Beard did that whenever he recruited to Texas Tech for basketball. Same thing. And so it can be done. You just have to have kids that buy in to what you're doing. And UCF, I don't know that their facilities are, the bounce house is just a circle stadium with bleachers all the way around. It ain't great.
But it's cool.
It's electric. It's a great atmosphere.
Yep.
And I guess one of these days we'll figure it out for ourselves when we go. But I'm not worried about UCF being better than us just because if they end up having 11 4-star recruits. I don't care what they look like in the recruiting. I've seen Texas with 8 5-stars.
But it would be interesting for them to be the leaders in recruiting the first year that they're in.
I agree. Yeah, that would be interesting, and that's probably something that they want.
Yeah, and it would be a trend I think that would continue.
Yeah.
All right, who's the Rockies and Detroit? I missed the answer, so we're not going to get it perfect. But
the Rockies and Detroit.
Yeah, I'm at 6.
Matt Holliday never played for Detroit. McCann, the catcher. Is there like a multiple choice thing?
No, it's just anyone in the world.
Oh, crap. And it doesn't tell you what years or any of that. Of course, the Rockies haven't been around since 1995, 1992, somewhere like that. But yeah, that's tough. Dang, it could be a pitcher too. I have no idea.
Me neither. I got 6 out of 9.
That's not bad. Pretty good for you here. That's 6'9". That's right on your right up your alley right there.
Yeah, we get it. Tucker says sorry, didn't mean to throw us off. I think
yeah, he knew. That's what Tucker does. That's what the producer does, right?
Oh, you got a home run derby pick?
Yeah, Adolis Garcia, hometown guy. Got to go with the Rangers guy, right? You're not a true fan if you don't go with the Rangers guy.
Yeah,
Plus,
I pulled up the field. It's not a great field.
No, and Luis Roberts, the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
I wish Shohei was in it, but he's not. I don't even know if he's going to play in the All-Star game now with the blister.
Pete Alonso.
I do like Pete Alonso.
He can DH.
You think the Angels will let him DH with a blister on his finger?
Did he win last year?
No, he won 2 years ago. Who won last year?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, Pete Alonso put on a show the year before last. I know that.
Mookie Betts is going to be a loser. I'd go with Luis Garcia or Randy Arozarena.
I like Randy Arozarena. Yeah.
I hate his name.
You hate his name?
No, I just like saying his name.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's fun to say, right? Arozarena.
The home run call with Arozarena is always good.
Yeah, it's true. Him and Adolis are big buddies too, and they face off against each other in the first round. So you're saying whoever wins that one in the first round of that matchup is going to win?
Well, I mean, Vladdy Jr. and I think Adley Rutschman's is a sneaky pick.
Which side will he hit from is what I want to know. He's a switch hitter.
Yeah.
Or does he go left-handed? If he can't hit a couple bombs on his first, time through, does he switch over? Or which side does he have more power for? I haven't looked at Adley Rutschman's numbers in depth to see how many bombs he's hit from the left side and how many he's hit from the right side. I would assume he's probably more of a power hitter from the left side at Camden Yards, but
I wonder if it matters what hand his pitcher is.
True. Good point.
Of course, they're throwing meatballs, so it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, they're just throwing BP. It's not even BP. It's just
he's not throwing sliders.
He's not throwing back foot breakers to you in a unless that's your favorite pitch, then maybe he is.
Maybe.
But yeah, I like Adolis Garcia just because I think he's just got pop everywhere, and the dude just swings a heavy bat. I like Adolis or Vlad Jr. or my 2 picks would be my 2 picks. The National League guys, not too concerned about. But yeah, and then in the All-Star game, give me the American League. I think the American League pitching. Looking at the American League pitching, plus you have a ton of dudes who have been there for the American League and the National League. I think on the pitching staff, you have 8 new All-Star guys. Like they've never been to an All-Star game before. So
it's me like the new guys.
Yeah, but I think in an All-Star game, you go with the guys who have been there and done that. They're not going to get as hyped up as the guys who have never been there and overthrow and do all those things. Throw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle, and then it gets bopped 482 feet.
Doesn't matter who wins anymore.
No, it doesn't matter. It's just it's a fun game.
You got the AL or the NL?
AL. Take the AL.
We got
Homer pick again.
4 Ranger starters, so
yeah, 4 Ranger starters. You're probably going to see Nate Eovaldi. Of course, he could start the All-Star game because that'll be his 5th. Yeah, he's Friday. All-Star game's Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. He may not pitch.
Yeah, I wouldn't pitch him.
That would be his 5th day, though. He could pitch.
If he wants to pitch, let him pitch an inning, but
yeah,
I'm not trying to. I'd rather have him.
I agree. Yeah, that's a good point.
I like sitting down Martin Perez because of the World Baseball Classic, and let's just let him get an.
I think he's got dead arm right now. Giving him about 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 2.5, whatever it might be, to get right, I think is the best decision on their part for
I'd
Perez.
skip him twice.
What was that?
I'd skip him twice if you want to give him.
I'm down with that. I'm okay with that. skip him twice. I mean, you have the All-Star break comes up after this weekend. You don't play your next game's not till a week from yesterday. So, or a week from today is when your next game would be. So, yeah, I don't think you're going to skip him this time. I think skip him again. Give him a good 2.5, 3 weeks because Bradford can give you a spot start if he needs to. You can put Martin Perez on the 10-day IL if you want to.
Yeah.
And just say it's shoulder tiredness and
Poor guy up.
Yeah, pull a guy up, bring a guy who you want to look and see. Maybe bring Jack Leiter up.
Yep, Jack Leiter.
Yeah. I mean, it'll put butts in seats if nothing else.
Yeah.
Plus I just want to see what the dude can do on the big league stage. You know? It's
awesome.
It's one of those deals where if you can't find a starter to go get, and Andrew Heaney's going to come back and he's a left-hander. But if you can't go get a starter in the I was going to say in the trade portal, by the trade deadline.
Yeah.
I think that you could see a Jack Leiter kind of guy when the rosters expand in September come up and be a kind of a spot starter for you if you need somebody. So I'd really like to see him throw a couple games before that happens just to see what he looks like. It's been a good year for rookie pitchers.
220 average against, 142 whip, 85 strikeouts, 14 starts.
How many walks on the season?
41.
So 2-1.
Yeah.
Strikeout to walk ratio. That's not too bad. And he's in AA or AAA in Round Rock?
AA. He's in
Frisco. That doesn't matter. Who cares? The same kind of hitters in AAA and AA. Just a little bit younger in AA. But
yeah, I was about to say, AAA, you're going to stay there. There's probably better hitters than AA.
They're probably and better young hitters for sure. You're talking about AA guys. The young guys in AA are the ones that are going to get pulled up most times, other than if they're a prospect, they're in AA. Whereas in AAA, you're kind of just sitting there. You're either a back and forth guy or you're just a AAA dude. Like you're going to be in AAA for a while, and sometimes you get out if you get lucky, and sometimes you don't. So
some clubs are different, but the Texas League seems to be that way.
Yeah, for sure. The Texas League is always, and I think a lot of that is because the AA, most of them in the Texas League, the AA teams are close to the mother clubs, the motherships.
Yeah.
Of course, Texas AA and AAA are both pretty close. I mean, Round Rock's 2 hours away, and Frisco's 30 minutes away, though. So, but yeah, like if Heaney comes back and throws a rehab stint, he's not going to go to Round Rock. He's going to go to Frisco,
right,
and pitch.
I went and saw Yu Darvish in Midland against
the
Hounds when he was a Ranger.
What's crazy is the Rockhounds have been really good for the last few years, and the A's just suck so bad. It doesn't translate from AA baseball in the Texas League to the big leagues. Of course, I think Billy Beane trades them all off by the time they get to the big league, so it doesn't matter.
Probably so.
I think the powers that be told Billy Beane, said, "Hey, man, get rid of all the good talent. We're going to Las Vegas. I need you to run this thing in the ground. I need you to really run this thing in the ground."
He's not the GM anymore, is he?
I know. I'm just moneyballing it.
President of operations.
Yeah, president of baseball operations is what he is. He was pretty much what John Daniels was last year for the Rangers. Thank God they got rid of him. Still bitter. And we talked about Emmanuel Clase earlier. That was John Daniels' worst mistake.
Yeah.
Right now, you could have Clase and Chapman in the back end of a bullpen.
That'd be awesome.
How cool would that be? Clase, he's still leading the American League in saves.
Is he?
I don't know. I don't look because it just hurts me every time. Every time I go to look, it bothers me that John Daniels got rid of that dude, and the Rangers are sitting here with, holding their rear end in the back end of the bullpen, just praying that you don't give it up. And they did last night.
He is not leading the. No, he's one off.
Yep. So he was leading it a couple weeks ago.
Jordan Romano, Camilo Duval, and Alexis Diaz all have 25.
So Clase's got 24. Of course, the Guardians don't win a whole lot. So
what about Hader and Blake Snell from the Padres?
Padros is fine.
As a
Love that. Who do you give up for him? You're going to have to send Owen White or Jack Leiter, one of the two, and then
Sure.
probably Acuna, if not, some other high prospect. But I'm sure it would be Acuna that would probably be in that trade too.
I'm down.
But I'm good with that. Yeah, giving up one of those guys, I'm not like Owen White's going to be good, but he's 2-3 years away from being really good in the starting rotation. Jack Leiter's a little bit closer, so I'd rather keep him than Owen White. But yeah, and then Acuna, outfield wise, you could use another young outfielder in a couple of years, but he's 2-3 years, maybe 4 years away from being in the big leagues. So
yeah, and there's a bunch of outfielders out there.
Yeah, that's a fact. So I think, that trade, if you can send, and you may have to send another guy, another prospect, and a pick or something to the Padres for that. But I love if Blake Snell, because that's another lefty and another lefty.
Somebody said Soto, Snell, and Hader the other day.
I don't know that you want to pick Soto's contract up.
As a huge package.
Yeah, you've already got so much on the books in the contract realm that I don't think you pick Soto's.
You're about to sign Ohtani too.
If they sign Ohtani, sign me up for Rangers World Series champs in 2025.
Hey, I'm in.
2024, whatever it would be.
All right. Do you have any final thoughts there?
No, Ludwig Aberg is playing well again today.
Good.
I saw he was 4 or 5 under the last time I looked.
We've got a Steadicam on that group, I believe, on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, I was trying to watch that a second ago. But yeah, he's didn't have a great closing weekend last weekend. Still wants some money. He's 6 under, 3 under today. So he's tied for 4th right now through 5 today. So leader is 9 under. Cameron Young at 9 under. So Ludwig not too far off. Playing really good golf right now. The first 2 rounds always seem like they're his best rounds. And then, you get to the weekend. Of course, in college golf, you play 2 rounds. Right. And sometimes 3. In the college tournament, in the national tournament, we saw him kind of fall off in that third day. And so the third day last week was his worst round of the week at the not Travelers, Rocket Mortgage Classic, whatever. Of course, I don't think anybody's beaten Ricky Fowler.
No.
But
and worst round being even.
Yeah, even par. Yeah. It's not like he was +7 or something like that. Yeah, he's even par.
He just went low that day, so it looked worse.
Yeah, it's not like you and I going out there and being like, I'll shot my worst round ever, shot a 95. Yeah. But anyway, I think he's having a pretty good success. And I think the PGA Tour is really happy that they've got a rookie that's this electric too.
I mean, he's made like $300,000 in the first 2 tournaments.
Yeah.
3 tournaments.
In 3 weeks, three tournaments, $300,000. Not a bad gig right there, Robbie.
Pretty good.
I don't think we get paid that for every show.
Nope, I don't think so. But we got the starting line, chat line, though.
That's right.
All right. I think that's all I got, man.
Yeah, and Arkansas needs to quit tampering with our baseball team. That's all I got.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right. We will see you Monday.
Yeah.
Or I will, Carson. See you next Friday.
I will, yeah. Peace.